Okay, so this video should help you figure some things out and get you to the point where you can get a finished essay turned in. Your goal will be to review the basics of what an introduction, body, and conclusion do and what that looks like as far as the planning and the writing of that. There are a few things that you're going to need to know before you continue on. First of all, you're going to need to know where your thesis statement is. Hopefully that is in your essay planner. If it is not, you probably should pause now and go back to Schoology into the folder about the workshop essay in this semester's Schoology class. While you're there, if you don't have the essay planner, you can download that, and if you haven't created your Google Doc, make sure you do that now. Once you know you have all of those three things, then come back to the video and we'll continue on. Okay, what we want to go over now is your essay planner. So there's three parts. You have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, and that makes up your whole essay. The introduction is going to be one single paragraph with a hook, background, and the thesis statement at the end, and that's important. Your body paragraph will be 2 to 3 paragraphs long, depending on how many things you listed in your thesis statement. If you listed 3 things in your thesis statement, you'll have 3 body paragraphs. The conclusion is just going to be one complete paragraph that has the restatement, the review, and the so what. Okay, so let's go back to the thesis statement. Thesis statement, you listed 3 separate things, blank, blank, and blank. Okay? Each of those represents one of the body paragraphs. For example, that first line might be the first one, and then the second, and then the third. After you have those ideas there, then your next step is to put your big ideas. And those ideas should be something that explains that one part of the thesis. And the same words, of course, should explain the big ideas. Now, as you're filling that out, something to keep in mind is the rule of 5. When you write down your big ideas and your same words, don't write in complete sentences. Just get those quick things down. Also remember that your introduction and conclusion need to be completely filled in all the things that are required. If you need help with planning your introduction and your conclusion, go to the helps on Schoology to help you figure that out. Okay, now we want to look at an actual essay. Again, you have the introduction, that first paragraph. It's completely separate, all by itself. It's going to have that hook, the background. Okay, so here this hook is an example of using a quote. Then, of course, at the very end of your thesis statement, you want to have at the end of your intro, you want to have your thesis statement. And that's all that goes into the introduction. You have those 3 things again listed in your thesis statement, and those become part of the body of your essay. If you don't have a completely separate introduction, you want to go back and add that. Now, the body paragraphs are going to be separate from each other as well. Each body paragraph is going to start with a topic sentence. That topic sentence should be the first thing that's listed in the thesis statement. The second thing listed in the thesis statement should be your second body paragraph, and that goes in the topic sentence. And then, of course, the third idea goes in the third paragraph with the topic sentence. Now, once you have those topic sentences, you want to go back and make sure you actually have those big ideas in same words. What's being highlighted in blue right now are the same words, the big ideas for each paragraph. Notice how each one is a complete sentence separate from the same word. The same words are going to be different sentences and will provide additional information about the big ideas. Each of the body paragraphs is going to have 2 to 3 big ideas, and each of those big ideas will have at least one same word. Sometimes you might have a concluding sentence, sometimes you might not for each of those body paragraphs, but for sure at the very end you're going to have a completely separate paragraph that is just the conclusion. The conclusion will begin with a connecting back to the introduction and will end with a really strong so what statement. so that by the time you're completely finished with your essay, the reader is finished reading it. They have a really clear idea from the intro what it's going to be about. Each of the body paragraphs are separate and they explain what's going on, and then your conclusion wraps it up. Notice that there are 5 separate paragraphs based on the number of things that were in the thesis statement. All right, so what's next? Hopefully you've been taking notes. Feel free to pause and go back and add to your notes. The next thing is to make sure that you've finished your essay planner and then write your essay. Here's some things to consider. Make sure your thesis comes at the end of the introduction and that the introduction is a completely separate paragraph. The body needs to be made up of separate paragraphs, one for each idea in the thesis statement. Okay, that is really important. If you're looking at your essay and it's like, whoa, there's only one paragraph, then you need to go back and really take a look at that and figure out what you're going to do to fix that. And then finally, you'll have a separate intro and a separate conclusion. And again, use the resources on Scooch to help you plan and write those. At this point, you should be finishing out your notes. Go back and add anything that you have learned about introductions, about the body of an essay, and about the conclusions. You can review this at any time. Okay, so what are your options if you need help? Well, first of all, there's a brand new folder in Schoology, like I've already mentioned in this video, that is in this semester's class that has just the information that you will need. You can go in and review any of the homework videos. You can download the intro and conclusion helps. You can get essay planners, whatever you need. You can also send me a message and say, Ms. Broderick, I need help with this, if I'm not available in class or if you're at home. I will be checking a lot of things over spring break, and so feel free to send me a message and even set up a digital appointment with me if that's what you need. Okay, that's all, folks. Make sure that you have added to your notes and make sure that you complete the digital whisk. Oh, don't forget to turn your notes in.